The headlines: Troops rescue 16 abducted in Katsina after 46 days in captivity. Criticisms and calls for investigation trail the Ningi suspension as constituents demand fairness. Kano residents lament price hike, scarcity of water supply in metropolis. Away from Nigeria, Vladimir Putin warns NATO of World War III in post-election speech. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Army troops from Combat Team 3 stationed in Marabam Maigora, Katsina State on Monday rescued 10 women and 6 minors who had been held captive by bandits since the 3rd of February 2024. Reports said the victims were rescued during a routine patrol at the Rimi community after being held by the hoodlums for 46 days. According to the military, the rescued victims were among the 54 women abducted along the Gamji-Landume Road in early February 2024. Following their rescue, the women and children were promptly handed over to the chairman of Sabua local government area, who in turn reunited them with their relatives. Confirming the development, Governor Dikko Rada, in a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary, Ibrahim Kaula Muhammad, on Monday commended the troops for the bravery and decision action. Troops of the 1 Division of the Nigerian Army have successfully rescued about 16 kidnapped victims in Tantatu community of Kajuru local government area in Kaduna State. The victims were rescued following the troops' response to actionable intelligence around 10:30 p.m. on March 17th. Army spokesperson Major General Onyema Nwachukwu made this announcement in a statement issued on Tuesday, March 19th. He stated that the troops swiftly tracked the insurgents who had earlier attacked the community in numbers and abducted some of the villagers as hostages. Nwachukwu added upon reaching the scene of the incident that the troops pursued the insurgents, engaging them in a ferocious exchange of fire and subsequently rescuing about 16 kidnapped victims. Now, trouble may be brewing in Kaita local government area of Katsina State as security operatives suspected to be members of the Katsina State Security Watch Corps attacked and dispossessed some Fulani herdsmen of their animals. The suspected Security Watch Corps operatives and vigilantes allegedly from Jibia attacked the Fulani herders at Masai village in Kaita local government area and forcefully dispossessed them of their 172 sheep and 13 donkeys. Abdullahi Yamadi is following up on the story and now tells us more.
The Fulani herders said they illegally settled in Masai village of Kaita local government with the permission of the village head and living peacefully with residents. Trouble started following a little misunderstanding between one of the herders and the resident over a tree which the Fulanis cut for their animals to graze on, a situation that was resolved amicably among themselves. Honestly, I am the owner of the tree in question. I had a misunderstanding with one of the herders. However, after a heated argument, we resolved it amicably there and then. I am suspecting some passers-by to have invited the security operatives, but not me. And this is the tree in question. We are really suspecting a conspiracy between the owner of the tree and members of the Security Watch Corps from Jibia. This is something pre-planned. However, we are appealing to Governor Dikko Rada to intervene immediately. Hours later, the suspected local security operatives stormed the area, attacked the Fulanis, shooting sporadically towards them, a situation that prompted them to run for their dear lives, leaving behind their animals, 2 children, and a housewife. The herders also said The suspected security watch corps and the vigilantes burnt down their makeshift, carted away food items, clothes, monies, and other valuables while arresting 2 children and a housewife. Look at me here. As a herder, this is the only business I know, and now I was left with nothing. What do they expect me to do? They have taken away my entire means of livelihood, and I must survive. But how? Kindly do something to help us recover our animals from these people. According to the herders, the suspected security watch cooperatives left a message telling them to report to a committee constituted by Katsina State government at Sangaya near 35 Battalion Nasinta Barracks in Katsina to claim their animals. I saw them when they took the 172 sheep and 13 of our donkeys away. I can swear with the holy book that they took away our animals before reaching Sangaya. The herders said they are peaceful and patriotic citizens and possessed grazing permits from the constituted authorities. At the moment, the herders, who vowed to follow all legal means in recovering their animals, have started seeing their animals at Kagadama Market and reported the issue to police authorities in Keita. However, the Katsina State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Nasiru Damusa, debunked the claim, saying the allegations are unjustifiable and unfounded. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
There was palpable tension in Asaba, the Delta State capital, as commercial tricycles and motorcycles operators under the aegis of Arewa Union in Asaba stormed the office of Commercial Motorcycle and Tricycle Operators Association, COMTWA, demanding a breakaway from the state-controlled body. This caused mayhem in the city center before moving to the office of COMTWA on Summit Road, where they attacked members of COMTWA task force, destroying vehicles, office furniture, and made away with computers and other valuables. While speaking to journalists in his office, the Director General of COMTWA, Uchenna Okafo, said the Arewa community is trying to form its own union in order to avoid paying levies to the state government. On his part, the coordinator of Arewa Community on sales of tickets, Hashimu Abubakar, said although he is not against the sales of tickets, he is, however, in support of negotiation as against causing chaos. 7-day warning strike by members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, enters its second day on Tuesday, grounding activities at the nation's public ivory towers. The federal government has criticized the action of the non-academic staff, saying that the withdrawal of their services is contrary to the provision of Section 18 of the Trade Dispute Act. The two unions began a 7-day warning strike on Monday over withheld salaries, with workers in registry, bursary, works and maintenance, security and students' affairs withdrawing their services. Both SANU and NASU are protesting withheld salaries by the federal government. The two unions berated the federal government for paying withheld salaries to the Academic Staff Union of Universities, the ASU, while neglecting the non-academic union. Academic activities have been grounded at the Bayero University, Kano, following a week-long warning strike embarked upon by the university's chapter of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that SANU and NASU are embarking on this strike in compliance with the directive of the national body of the unions, following the failure of the federal government to implement the 2009 agreement reached with the unions, among other demands. Take a look.
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
These are officials of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and Non-Academic Staff Union, At the Bayero University, Kano shutting down the university, leaving the Senate building under lock and key for the next 1 week.
There is victory for all.
The university environment is deserted as the Senate building, lecture theatres and other operational places were closed down by the striking workers.
Today night, we have embarked on a 7 days warning strike, and it's going to be a very comprehensive strike action.
So what's the level of compliance?
Well, as you can see, we are standing in front of the Senate building. This is the powerhouse of Bayero University, Kano, and it's empty. You can even go around and see for yourself. All the staff of the university, both Thanu and Nasu, have complied 100%, and we are happy for that.
The university workers are asking the federal government to honor agreement it reached with the union in 2009, including the 50 billion naira earned allowance it promised to pay. Other demands are general welfare of the workers and conducive working environment are some of the other reasons responsible for the strike.
The end of the strike is on the issue of non-implementation of our backlog, our salary areas. That's one. The renegotiation of 2009 agreement, that's the second one. And others, because we have written several memorandum with the government, and up to now, nothing have been done.
While the strike is expected to last for 1 week, the workers say if their demands are not met, the union will embark on an indefinite strike. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The 7-day warning strike embarked upon by the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities on Monday witnessed total compliance by the Joseph Sarwan Tarka University, formerly University of the Agriculture Makurdi chapter. Trust TV's Jimmy Adzande monitored the situation and sent in this report from Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Take a look.
According to officials of the two unions, there are many issues on the table that are begging for implementation from agreements reached between the unions and the federal government. They say the latest action has become necessary after several notifications served the federal government.
It will interest you to know that we were the first to suspend our strike in 2022 to honor government because they say we should call off that strike and then they will pay us. So and as we talk to you now, they have not paid, and this is one of the demands we are putting forward. And among those things, that's why we say, let them revisit the 2009 agreement, because those are the things we put in place. Review our salary, pay us the backlog of our salary, pay us our end allowance, which we knew that government voted for it, and it was budgeted for in 2023.
And after 7 days, we are expecting that government will react positively. And if they don't react, our union leadership is there. They will meet with the organs of the union and then take the appropriate decision. And at this point, let me not preempt what the decision will be.
As at the time of filing this report, services were suspended by the staff with offices under lock and key. The officials say in the following days, the unions will ensure the momentum of enforcement is maintained.
Number one, we have completely shut down the waterworks. Number two, the light is off. The library is closed. Our clinic is under lock and key, as you saw as we are coming in. Students that are supposed to resume for lectures, as you can see right now, there's nobody to register them. The hostels are closed. We have just come from there. The few people we saw, we chased them out. And this compliance we have seen today, this is my 26th year in the university. We have never seen 100% compliance like this because everybody is aggrieved.
Students of the institution are urging the government to do the needful so that academic activities will return.
It's going to affect me and myself because both water and electricity, everything will be shut down in the hostel, and some people will be forced to go home, and others that are their houses are not closed, they will still remain in this school and face it just like that.
The striking workers say at the expiration of the 7 days, There will likely be an indefinite strike, since it is the only language the government understands. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Away from the SANU strike, mixed reactions have continued to trail the controversy around the suspension of Senator Abdul Nengi over claims of irregularities in the 2024 budget. Across party lines, residents say the National Assembly has a checkered past with corrupt practices as they call for an investigation to unravel the scandal. Trust TV's Adamu Imam sampled the view of residents in this report.
The recent scandal engulfing the Senate chamber of the National Assembly involving alleged budget padding of over 3 trillion naira in the 2024 budget appropriation by Senator Abdul Nengi, representing the people of Bauchi Central Zone, continues to captivate the minds of many Nigerians. This is especially true with Bauchi State Senator Abdul Nengi's home turf.
They wanted to do something right. They will not listen to Abdul Nengi if they understand that he is trying to bring setback or standing block to their work. If at all, them also they are serious. They wanted to do the right thing. So actually, I can say the Senate, their action is harsh.
Let the senators remember they represent the people of this country, not for their selfish interest. We gave them our mandate to work for us. But Senator Abdul Nengi has done marvelous in this aspect. Even if they are doing wrong, he is bold enough to challenge them for not doing what is right. He is an experienced lawmaker. Let us see other senators from Bauchi and the entire northern senators back him. Saminu Abdullahi from APC and Babangida Mohammed from PDP have expressed their dissatisfaction with the action taken by the Senate leadership on Nengi's case, deeming it as inconclusive and unfair. They believe that corruption has found a permanent place within the National Assembly. For them at the Senate to suspend Abdul Nengi, I think is undemocratic, and if that should be the case, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio should resign from his position with immediate effect. That's my position on this matter, despite being a member of APC in Bauchi.
Is it constitutional for a senator to be suspended? If it is constitutional, where? Because this is completely new to our people. We are not very happy with it. We are not comfortable with it. They should take different measures where they should handle issues like this, or even better than this, or even bigger than this, than the kind of issues they are taking, considering the nature of the way and manner this country is going.
According to some respondents, successive Nigerian governments have always been accused of corrupt tendencies. However, with this development, citizens are expressing uncertainty about whom to trust to represent them in any political office in the future. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up, Kano residents lament the price hike and scarcity of water supply in Metropolis. This and more shortly. Stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. If you're just joining us, this is Trust News Update. Here's a recap of our top stories. Troops rescue 16 abducted in Katsina after 46 days in captivity. And criticism and calls for investigation trails Nengi's suspension as constituents demand fairness. Moving on to more stories, the Plateau State government says it is set to partner Media Trust Group in order to change the narrative of unprofessional news reporting and information dissemination in the state. Special Advisor on Strategic Communications to the Plateau State Government, Golu Timothy, who made this known during a courtesy visit to the Media Trust Group's premises in Abuja, said such professional information flow and unbiased reporting will help de-escalate some of the crisis situation in the state. The report. According to the Plateau State government, despite having 8 House members currently serving with 16 others yet to be reinstated, important legislative affairs have not been stalled, adding that the state government is positive that the court will intervene soon.
But, this is a democracy, as I said. It has to do with due process. You can't go against such an injunction. If they vacate these injunctions, definitely they will be sworn in. Whoever gets a judgment, which means that the ball is in the court of the courts of law. Let them sort out this issue at the court. If the court, or maybe I don't know at which level now, maybe to the Supreme Court, will direct INEC to go and comply with the instruction, then it means that we are going back to elections again. Those people are sticking to their own litigations because they are entitled to it. The 16 members are also sticking to it. You recall that the governor gave appointments to even the 16 lawmakers to go and serve as liaison officers in their various constituencies. That tells you that we are ready to swear in anybody that the court gives judgment. That tells you that we are not stopping anybody from being sworn in.
Speaking on the backlash that followed the recent 204 special advisors appointments by the governor over rising cost of governance, Timothy said the government is mindful of the plight of the people, adding that the appointments were in relevant areas that will cater to the affairs of the state.
They will be familiar with the policies and programs of government so that they can deliver them to the grassroots. That is just it. You may see it as bulky as anything, but it is allowances that will be given to them, so that they can be able to, in doing that, they are also expanding their horizon, their understanding of how governance work. We felt that a lot of issues are happening. A lot of our youths are being, underemployed. And if you see, all these people are young people. Let them start from somewhere. By the time they are given this proper guidance, and then they get other work somewhere, that definitely a very solid foundation, have been put in place.
With peace and normalcy gradually returning to the affected communities, the government assured that measures have been put in place to ensure that reconciliation and reunion is restored to the state. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja. The residents across the metropolitan area of Kano State are lamenting the incessant water scarcity, especially during the fasting period. Salim Ibrahim reports that water vendors have doubled prices due to the scarcity in some areas. The report.
Areas like Pagi, Kurna, Rijal Lemo, all under Pagi local government area, now buy a 25 litre at the rate of 100 naira to 115 naira, while areas like Karkasara, Hotoro, and Taron local government area are facing the same problem. This translates to virtually all local government areas that made up the metropolitan Kano. Speaking of the development, a 15-year-old Amir Usman made fetching water for his family at Karkasara area, said they are having challenges getting water for the household.
Honestly, we are suffering here. There is no water in most places, and we just have to buy. Sometimes we hire cart polishers to supply water.
Most places that water can be found easily are houses of the privileged members of the society who have dug boreholes in their homes. As such, they filled out a pump or two outside for public consumption. Many have to depend on borehole, which created long queue with many waiting for the water to be released for them to fetch. Khadija Hussein Madaki of Darmanawa area also speaks on the scarcity.
Even water for ablution is difficult to get, and public supply is non-existent these days. In the last 8 days, there was no supply. Unlike before, life without water is not complete. One may look dirty on account of water shortage. Water vendors don't sell to us unless you are buying the whole cart. Each jerrycan is sold at 70 naira.
However, the authorities concerned said the development is a temporary one, as it is associated with some of the machines pumping the water, which are under repairs at the moment. Salim Umar Ibrahim, reporting for Trust TV.
From the foreign scene, Russian President Vladimir Putin says that a direct conflict between Russia and NATO would signify that the planet is one step away from World War III, according to Reuters. The remarks were made as Putin claimed a landslide victory in Russia's presidential election with 87.8% of the vote. The US, Germany, the UK and other nations have criticized the election, citing the imprisonment of political opponents and censorship. During his post, the election briefing, Putin said it is clear that this would be one step away from a full-scale World War III, pointing out that no one is interested in another World War III. The French President Emmanuel Macron previously stated that he could not rule out the possibility of deploying ground troops in Ukraine. Responding to the questions about Macron's statement and the risk of possibility of conflict between Russia and NATO, Putin said everything is possible in the modern world. Putin also added that NATO servicemen were already in Ukraine. And finally, in sport, the team Nigeria's Comfort James is through to the final of the women's 800 meters at the African Games 2023. Running in heat 3, James came in the fourth position, which was enough for her to make her maiden international final. She did it running an equal personnel best of 2 hours, 5 minutes, 11 seconds. In the men's category, Hamid Sambo gave finishing in 6th position. Meanwhile, Nigeria's mixed 4x400 meter team ran an initial game record to qualify for the final on Tuesday. And with that, we wrap up Trust News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentaries. I am Sumaya Abubakar. Thanks for watching.